VidHead85, and I want to talk a little bit about something called that I've been looking into called deconstruction. So, deconstruction is an interesting thing. There are a lot of people who have different definitions of what deconstruction is. There is a certain subset of Christian vlogger who thinks that deconstruction is a good thing as long as you stay with the faith. Now, when people deconstruct, they never know where they're going to end up. Some end up staying in the faith, some do not. And it is all about what really is your. It's all about what is the most important thing to you. So I recently watched a woman who, it was on the Anti-Bot channel. I think I'll link the screenshot here so that you can take a look at it. But what was interesting was the woman said that they didn't like deconstruction because it was something that the world did, for lack of a better way to put it, that's what I'm getting. And it seemed like she felt like it should only be something that Christians do. Now, what is deconstruction? Deconstruction, in my view, is a re-examining of core beliefs, a re-examining of the way that you interact with those beliefs and how you are able to gel that into what you can believe. For me, my deconstruction was simply, okay, great. I am looking at this the way that the view of women, the view of especially LGBT individuals. And there's a lot of deconstruction. There's a lot of re-examining of beliefs and masculinity. There's a lot of re-examination and saying, do I really believe that? And does it interact well with what I believe? Such as, do I really believe that LGBT people are wrong and are going to hell? No, I do not believe that. So pretty much, when I also deal with deconstruction, all I'm saying pretty much is I'm re-examining. That's pretty much what deconstruction is. It is taking it down piece by piece, and then unfortunately, or fortunately, you may take one piece and unravel an entire thread. You never know where deconstruction will lead you. So what I'm saying is, deconstruction is a good thing. Bethany of Girl Defined was saying that there are some things that she doesn't believe as strongly as she used to because she has deconstructed some points about her faith. Her husband Dave, who they both did a video on, and the Anti-Bot reviewed it. But what I liked about Dave was that he took the nuanced approach, which we don't see in a lot of Girl Defined videos or in a lot of videos where they are very Christian. The Christian viewpoint is not very nuanced in the first place. It is very black and white. It is either or, instead of, well, there are other things that we can layer in. It is always opposing forces. So let's get into my deconstruction for a moment. My deconstruction was definitely around gay rights because I am gay. Shocker. But it was also the fact that I had never understood, like, the church was so against it. People were always against it as, quote, against nature. And I've been tired. I was always tired of seeing, what is it? I got tired of, how is it that the larger black community could hurt the LGBT community when they've been in the same position? Well, it's just the same as where Irish immigrants and then their descendants could discriminate against black people when they were very much in that situation. When they were in similar situations, because as a disfavored category of people. Of course, slavery obviously saw in slavery. But there are people who have been in a bad place and then go and put other people in that same bad place. And I've never understood that. Just like when I saw North Carolina Republicans join up with black pastors only to pass voter suppression laws not even 24 hours later. So that's a part of where my deconstruction also got into a bit of it, because I just said, you know what? I don't understand all of this. And then the Bible, I found, is pretty much a plagiarized book of mythology. And there's so many things about the nuances of the translations, the Greek words, the Aramaic words also. There's so much that when we look at it as a scholarly thing, it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up to the way that we look at it in America. Also, let's take a look at the literary character of God. The literary character of God is pretty much somebody who does blanket training. Now, if you know about blanket training, you were probably grown up in a cult or IBLP. And blanket training is simply you put your toddler on a blanket, and then you put something desirable outside of the blanket's reach. And you hit them on the hand so that they know not to go for that desired object. That's what this literary God did for the Garden of Eden. He did blanket training. And then, because they touched the forbidden tree, they got kicked out of the Garden of Eden. And then I also wonder, where did Cain's wife come from too? Because even though they had other sons and daughters, how did Cain's wife get started? Did this God character kind of like build pods of different people so that, like start like a garden and planted them all around the world? And then, of course, we're punished for Adam's sin and Eve's sin, and yet we're supposed to be accountable for our own. But then again, if we don't tell unbelievers about the gospel, then we're sinning. And then it's all about breaking you down into a person that is horrible, feels the need to forgive everything. And a lot of people use this with such legalism that they take away whatever freedom that the gospel is supposed to bring you. I don't really see the gospel as a thing of freedom. Whenever I have gotten outside of this religious bubble, I found freedom. I found freedom when I got away from the Bible, which is nothing more than a popular mythical book. And the God character, again, blanket training, say, love me or I'm going to send you to hell forever. If someone said that to me, saying, you better be my friend all your life, and if you don't, I am going to make your life hell and beat you up as off every time I even see you or think about you, and I will find you to do it. Why would I want to bow down and worship someone who I happen to be more compassionate than? I am more compassionate than the God that I'm supposed to be serving. Make it make sense. And recently someone said, I'd gotten to the point where I said, you know what, even if this God does exist, I don't like him. If this God does exist, I don't like him. I would tell this God that he needs some fucking therapy. Because who else would go and toy around and make another living thing to admire them? This sounds like a narcissistic parent. God of the Bible is a narcissistic parent. That is what it is. And I don't care. My channel's not big enough to have haters or Christians in the comments who are saying, oh, you're horrible and whatever. And they may have some good points. I'm not going to paint everybody who disagrees with me with a broad brush as haters, like many people do. But there are some. But I'm going to say that if the Christians who who say that they follow this God are any indication of their God, then their God is a bigger asshole than they are. Point blank, period. So that's part of my deconstruction. That is my deconstruction came in waves because it just ended up building up to the point where I just thought the Bible is bullshit. The Bible's bullshit. Quran, all that, it's all a way for primitive men to figure out the world around them, and they were wrong about a lot of it. The Book of Mormon is proven to be bullshit because it plagiarizes so many other things, and then the hat in the what is it, the stone in the hat. He was a fucking con man. He was pretty much like a Donald Trump, and now he's got a $100 billion empire now. If I didn't have any like scruples, I would probably be a mega pastor right now. I guess I am a pastor in a way with this channel. Who knows? Talk to you soon. Thank you.